Establishing the town. Imagine this. A young man pours his heart into one dream, only to watch it shatter not once, not twice, but 100 times. Each failure hits harder than the last, leaving him broken and alone. But what if I told you he never gave up, and that one choice changed everything? Stick with me, because this story might just spark the fire you need in your own life. Let me take you back to a small, dusty town in the Midwest, where life moves slow and dreams often feel too big for the horizon. That's where our story begins, with a guy named Jack. Introducing Jack entering the garage. Jack was just 22, fresh out of high school, with no fancy college degree or rich family to back him up. He grew up on his grandpa's farm, watching the old man struggle with back-breaking work under the scorching sun. Jack had this burning idea inside him, a simple machine that could make farming easier, something to till the soil without wearing out your body. He called it the Easy Till, a gadget that would automate the hard parts and give folks like his grandpa a break. Early hopeful phase when sketching designs. From the start, Jack was full of hope. He sketched designs on scraps of paper during lunch breaks at his dead-end job in a local hardware store. This is it, he'd tell himself, eyes lighting up. This will change lives. He saved every penny, quitting coffee runs and skipping nights out with friends, just to buy parts from the junkyard. Nights turned into blurry marathons in his tiny garage, tools scattered everywhere, the smell of oil and sweat hanging in the air. His mom would peek in, worried, saying, "Jack, honey, get some rest." But he couldn't. This dream kept him awake, whispering promises of a better tomorrow. Moments of loneliness or reflection. At first, things looked promising. Jack built his first prototype, a clunky box on wheels with spinning blades. He tested it in the backyard, heart pounding. But when he flipped the switch, nothing. Just a sad whir and then silence. Failure number 1. He shrugged it off, thinking, okay, tweak the motor. So he did. Days later, try number 2, the blade spun, but they dug too deep and jammed in the dirt. Strike 2. Jack fixed it, adjusted the depth, and tried again. This time, the whole thing overheated and smoked like a bonfire. He laughed it off at first, but deep down, a tiny crack formed in his confidence. Word got around town. Neighbors started whispering. "That boy's wasting his time," they'd say at the diner. Jack's friends teased him gently, calling him the mad inventor. But he kept going. Failure 3, 4, 5, they piled up like fallen leaves in autumn. Each one stung a little more. He'd stare at the broken parts, hands trembling, wondering if he was fooling himself. Money ran low. He sold his old bike to buy more wires. His girlfriend at the time? She stuck around for a while, but after the 10th flop, she sat him down. "Jack, I love you, but this is dragging us both down. When are you gonna face reality?" Her words cut deep, like a knife twisting. She left, and Jack felt the weight of loneliness settle in. Garage becoming graveyard of broken parts. But quitting. That word wasn't in his dictionary yet. He pushed on, telling himself, one more try. Just one more. The failures kept coming. 20, 30, 40. The machine would break, overheat, or just not work right. Jack's garage became a graveyard of twisted metal and shattered hopes. Mid-struggle, town laughing, losing job. He lost his job because he showed up late too many times, mind lost in designs. Bills stacked up, and the bank started calling. His mom offered to help, but pride held him back. "I've got this," he'd say, voice cracking. Nights grew darker. He'd sit alone, head in hands, tears mixing with grease on his face. "Why me?" he'd whisper to the empty room. "Am I just not good enough?" By failure 60, the town had turned from whispers to outright laughs. Kids pointed at him on the street, giggling about the guy who can't build anything. Jack's grandpa, the one he wanted to help most, patted his shoulder one evening. "Son, sometimes dreams are just that, dreams. Maybe it's time to let go." Those words haunted him. Jack started doubting everything. Was he chasing a ghost? His body ached from lack of sleep, his spirit worn thin like an old rope about to snap. Failure 75. The machine almost worked, tilling a small patch perfectly before exploding in sparks. He burned his hand that time, the pain shooting up his arm like fire. In the hospital, bandaged and defeated, he thought, enough. I'm done. Failure 100, kneeling in the field screaming. But here's where the story twists, the part that makes your heart race. Failure 99. Jack had scraped together one last set of parts, using every dime from odd jobs. The garage light flickered as he assembled it, hands steady despite the exhaustion. He wheeled it out to the field at dawn, the world quiet except for birds chirping. This is it, he muttered. My last shot. He hit the switch. The blades whirred to life, digging just right, moving smoothly across the soil. For a moment, hope flickered. Then, a grinding noise, smoke billowed, and it died. Failure 100. Jack fell to his knees in the dirt, fists pounding the ground. Why? He screamed at the sky, voice raw with anguish. Tears streamed down his face as the sun rose, casting long shadows over his broken dream. Everything he'd sacrificed, time, love, pride, gone in a puff of smoke. In that moment, he was utterly shattered, the pain so deep it felt like his soul was cracking. The inner shift, remembering Mom's story. He sat there for hours, numb. Quitting seemed like the only way out. But as the day wore on, something stirred inside him. He thought of his grandpa's wrinkled hands, calloused from years of toil. He remembered a story his mom told him as a kid, about how the greatest trees grow strongest in the storm. Slowly, he stood up, dusted off the dirt, and dragged the wreckage back to the garage. One more, he whispered, though his body screamed no. He tinkered through the night, fixing what he could with shaky hands. Success on try 101. Joy after it works. And then, miracle of miracles. Try 101. The machine hummed to life, blades turning perfectly, tilling the earth without a hitch. It worked. Jack watched in disbelief as it glided across the field, smooth as butter. He laughed, then cried, falling to his knees again, but this time in joy. Word spread like wildfire. Farmers came to see, and soon, orders poured in. Jack's easy till became a hit, easing the burden for folks across the state. He built a small company, hired locals, and even helped his grandpa retire comfortably. Success didn't come overnight, but it came because he refused to let those 100 failures define him. Closing resolution and moral takeaway. Now, think about your own life for a second. Have you ever faced a wall of setbacks that made you want to walk away? Maybe it's a job hunt, a relationship, or a personal goal that keeps slipping through your fingers. Jack's story isn't just about a machine. It's about the power inside all of us to keep going when the world says stop. Failure isn't the end, it's the teacher that shapes you for the win. So next time you're down, remember Jack. During reflection on time and persistence, dust yourself off, take that next step, and who knows? Final motivational line: your breakthrough might be just one more try away. Your breakthrough might be just one more try away. You've got this, never give up.